What's up, everyone? It's NASCAR Sunday, and we are back here on the DFS YouTube channel to break it down for you. As always, I am Kevin, the Geek Allen, with the man himself, Taco. And we're taking a look at the Texas Wurth 400 intermediate track, Texas. Taco, we were just talking off the air about like some unique stuff about this particular track. So it's 1.5 miles. So you'd think, hey, standard track, but it's not. Tell me what's going on. Why is the carnage so high here? What is the deal?
If you were to take 100 NASCAR fans, line them up, ask them all individually, what's the worst track right now? I'm guessing at minimum 50 would say Texas. But hopefully more like 70 or 80 would, because this is the worst track right now. It sucks. So this track, unfortunately, ran into a repave situation back in 2017, and they botched it. And we've kind of been dealing with that ever since. You can just look at the track history of all of the good drivers in this field, and you're going to notice at least one wreck in all of them. The last 3 races, there have been 16, 11, and 16 cautions here at an intermediate track. That is twice as high. The average line at like an intermediate track is like 7.5 or 8.5. We're talking 16 cautions. So the inside line is where everyone has to race. It's sort of a single groove track, as where we've been to Las Vegas, Homestead, Darlington. Darlington's got the high tire wear. There's barely any tire wear here. Homestead and Las Vegas have the multiple racing grooves. There's only one racing groove at Texas. If you try to go on the outside, you wreck. It's kind of how it works. We've got cooler conditions here this week. It's going to be, it's been a clusterfuck, and maybe it'll be a little bit less of a clusterfuck than it has been. I think right now the caution prop on Bovada is 11.5, which is still ridiculously high for an intermediate track. But it's just not good racing. Simply put.
What is the stand, like how many cautions do we see on a Daytona in a standard? Give me like a point of reference.
Like 6. It's just a Daytona. They're like 15 car wrecks. Yeah,
that's different.
This is more like I was explaining to you before we got off here. It's a weird comparison, but it's almost like an Xfinity Martinsville race. Granted, it's 3 times as big as Martinsville, but you got the one racing groove. If you're out front, you're kind of out front. Clean air is so good. You don't have to have the fastest car. You just have to be out front. So no one can really pass you there. But there are all these little cautions constantly throughout the race. And that's kind of what we've been seeing here at Texas. So from a predictability standpoint, for me personally, this is the week where I'm dodging the chalk. And to me, a favorite is less of a favorite than they normally would be. Like, not going to play a lot of Kyle Larson here. If you scroll over and look at just like the lead laps here, like you saw this in all the other series too. Guys like Corey Heim never really led laps here. Kyle Larson doesn't lead a lot of laps here, oddly enough. Like, I think Hamlin as well. Like, your usual names that you'd see having tons of lead laps here just don't really. It's very random. And your winners also tend to be pretty random. Like Chase Elliott won here last year. He wasn't anywhere near the fastest car. He just kind of ended up there at the end, and that's kind of how you end up here. So it's a pretty random race compared to the intermediate tracks we've been to so far, where you kind of know who's going to be fast from like practice, or just, they have a good skill set for this track. I mean, there are a few people that are good at Texas, like Blaney, very good at Texas. Keselowski, very good at Texas. Really just like the Penske guys tend to have a bit of an advantage there. Logano used to be really, really, really good at Texas, but overall, a lot of your usual names tend to just wreck or not perform as well as they really ought to here. So for me, it's a get random sort of week. It's hard to unfriend people up front, because as long as you've got an okay car, if you get a good pit stop, or you just end up out front from strategy, you can stay out front. You can lead a bunch of laps. And another thing, actually, go over to the fast lap section and scroll down throughout the field and look at historically the fast laps here. Look how spread out they are. It's very Daytona-esque.
This is the column that you're referring to, and outside of Hocevar, who weirdly just I don't know, but yeah, Nemechek got 11. How where the fuck did
Ty
that come from?
Dillon's averaging 8, SVG 8.
Even like turds from the way back are getting fast laps here. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, so it's really spread all over the place. So dominating here doesn't mean as much as it usually would. So
I see a lot of whinging in the comments about bad track.
Remember, this is the worst track. Awful week. We thankfully we're down to one Texas race per year, but if any track deserves the Atlanta treatment where they turn it to a super speedway, surely it's this one.
Here's the thing, Taco. I'm taking everything you just said, and here's what I'm putting together. Mm-hmm. Cannot pass the driver up front, but pit stop and pit passes are going to be king. Is that about right?
Kind of, yeah. And just a bit of a roulette wheel going on as far as who's getting the lead laps and whatnot. Did we lose you? I think we lost you.
Just momentarily. Just momentarily. All right. So we're putting it together. Hard to pass, but so your pit crew is important. Mm-hmm. We're going to see just random, like a pit stop will happen. Somebody gets in the front, and now they're going to hold it. And that maybe has been the, or at least that's my translation of what you just said for this track. 1.5 mile, plenty of laps to go around. So dominator points exist, but it does not seem like any one person. Have we had situations where like the pole sitter has, well, actually, let's take a look at historical.
Yeah, we can go for it.
Well, no. Okay, here we go. My favorite, and then we'll get to what the winning lineups have looked like over the past few weeks, as we always do. The power of this research station is awesome because it will tell the tale of everything we need to know. So right off the bat, pole sitter doing pretty good here, Taco. Mm-hmm. 73 lead laps, 27 fast laps, lots of good, 55-point score.
Yeah, this is from just the 3 races in the next gen car. We're kind of limiting it to that moving forward. So not as much data as you would get from a race that we go to multiple times a year, but nonetheless, the pole sitters have done pretty good. They're basically guaranteed to lead stage 1 up until that first caution or so, which is a good thing for them. We've got Carson Hocevar as our pole sitter this week, which is really interesting because I would say the 2 race favorites are starting like right next to him and right behind him in Larson and Byron. So I think he'll be able to lead as much as he wants until that first caution. It's just there's so many cautions here. That could be lap 2. It could be we could have a green stage 1. You never know. So we're going to actually be considering like a 7K Hocevar Dominator. But the downside is absolutely fucking tremendous because, I mean, Hocevar hasn't finished a single 1.5 mile track this season. So some big upsides, big downsides there. But
every single caution becomes another race off the pit.
Mm-hmm. And his pit crew has fucking sucked all year. So
okay, that's good. All right, so risk with Hocevar on the. I'm looking for great pit crews in this track. I want to know who's the best at it.
All right, so
as we break it down,
the best pit crews all season so far have been Bubba. He's had perhaps the best pit crew all year long. Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin with his new Jackman that does the flippy flip. Very cool. Just the JGR guys across the board. RFK has been really good. Like Priest.
Dude, that's too many names. It's gotten to the point where now
just keep those names in mind, okay? And then the guys who have struggled significantly this year, Joey Logano, most notably, Carson Hocevar, Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain have been really underperforming pit crew wise, but still early in the season.
Yeah. You know what's fascinating about these numbers? I'm just looking at it over here, man. This is super level. Like there is the lack of edge. It's super level across the field.
It's very random.
Here, I mean, outside of the pole sitter, you know, it's almost the same. This is like, it does not matter who you pick here.
And qualifying hasn't really been that correlative to just overall race speed. We kind of see it in the qualifying this week. There are tons of place differential plays.
Interesting. So already 2 data points showing number one, okay, a little bit of edge up front for the whoever's kind of the lead lap guy. But beyond that, you're not seeing a ton of benefit from taking high drivers compared to drivers starting up top compared to drivers starting in the back. Interesting as we get to the starting lineups, and we're going to go to the historical, which is another one of my favorites. But when we get to the starting lineups, there are extreme place differential plays available to us on this slate. So it's going to be interesting to see how lineups come together. But let's take a look at the last few races and what did what. So most recently, 2024, September, I guess, or the 9th race. I guess that's this race from that year. A 4th place starter, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place differential plays, including one that made his way, Chase Elliott, from 24th to leading laps and winning the race.
But was he the best car? Absolutely not. The best car is Kyle Larson down there. He was the best car all race, but ended up as part of the carnage that took down like half the field. And there you go.
Larson, I think I have a memory of this, and he was kicking ass. Pole sitter, kicking ass, and yeah, leading laps, was definitely going to be in the nuts lineup if he didn't crash. Yeah, all he needed to do was not crash, but there is the crash there. Let's go to the next one. So now we're in 2023. There's only a few races available. Bubba Wallace does really well, 111 laps led, and Kyle Larson leads the other laps, and also crashes, but somehow holds on to the nuts score, which is wild.
And that's where you see the huge difference between DraftKings and Fanduel. This is a nightmare slate for Fanduel, in my opinion, because if you run into any of the carnage across your lineups, you're fucked.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Can you imagine you played Larson? He crashes, finishes 31st, and he's still in the nuts because of all those laps led. That is bananas. Larson, some bad luck on this track. But more importantly, first place guy, pole sitter, easily gets there. But you had Bubba, who was good, right?
And once again, you had Byron, the other Hendrick car, that just kind of ends up winning for the first of 2 years in a row. That kind of happens where, Larson gets fucked. Well, some other Hendrick car is going to just squeak in there and win when they don't really deserve to. But the winner here rarely ever actually deserves to.
Well, I mean, what's interesting what I'm finding here is, like, for all of the carnage, it looks like the pole sitters do sort of hold on. Like, if you look at these last 2 tracks, I mean, 77. So most of the lead laps go to one guy and then split between these other 2 here. Again, most of the lead laps the following race went to 2 guys and nothing else. And actually, Larson clearly had the fastest car because he was also getting fast laps as he was leading. Let's go to the next race. All right, this is 2022. Here again, this is the thing that I'm paying attention to first. Look at what we've got. 4th place, and then place diff, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another high starter, and a couple other high starters scored okay. And actually, Ken is probably right on that Larson. I'm seeing all these guys were expensive. So it's possible Larson wasn't even in the nut lineup because of the price. But he did score 3rd most in that one. But here, so you've got a 4th place, a 3rd place, both leading a bunch of laps, and then some place stiff guys. And the finishing position was you needed 1, 1, 3, 4, 6, 5. So basically you had to pick the cars that ended up effectively in the top group. So it's weird because on a track that you can't pass on, normally I'd be like, oh, play stiff, not as effective, more like a road track. But this is not playing that way at all. It's like a road hybrid where the play stiff does matter more. They can pass because of the carnage. So that should be really interesting, Taco. And let's get to the main group. And we're going to see that there is some intense place differential chalk to deal with on
and
this
it's
slate.
spread out too, so it's it's kind of easy to make lineups this week because the place
Maybe a little
differentials
too
just kind of
easy.
spread out
Maybe a
throughout.
little too easy, Taco.
Maybe.
A little too easy, if you ask me. Yeah, some of our favorite drivers here are starting in the back. But let's start with the odds-on favorite to win the race here, Kyle Larson. He is starting fourth. So, you know, he's in a good spot.
He won in 2021, dominated a couple of years of the last 3 races. Yeah, I think it was 24 and 23. Dominated, but finished 21st and 31st. So track history a lot better than it seems.
Seems to crash out at the end, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah, and that's been the case the last 2 races as well. Winner at Homestead in a dominant fashion, and then wrecked out at Darlington. Can't predict who's going to wreck out, of course, but yeah, Larson should be the favorite here. A lot of sites have Larson and Byron pretty equal here. Larson was faster in practice. I think if we go to NASCAR Pick 6 on DraftKings, they're giving Larson 55.5 laps led. They're giving Byron 52.5. It's kind of funny they don't even have Hocevar up there available, even though he's on the pole. And they're giving Larson 22 fast laps, Byron 17 fast laps. Would probably go with the under on Byron there or something like that, because we've seen the lead laps here be a bit weird.
No,
yeah,
I think the field would expect that potentially right off the rip, Byron could pass Hocevar and just kind of take it.
Yeah, certainly.
Him starting second, I think, gives him a faster, ride to the lead, even compared to Larson starting fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those 2 guys are going to be really popular. 35. They're almost as chalky as it gets. Certainly as chalky as it gets for drivers starting towards the front. I'm going to be curious to see where Hose is. But next up, we got Denny Hamlin, D.Ham, starting 8th. Again, kind of nondescript stud here because the other 2 guys look a little sexier. Any reason to be excited about Hamlin? His win odds, pretty good, but less good than the other 2.
Yeah, Hamlin didn't stick out at all during practice. It's not been a track where he's been crazy fast. He just won at Darlington, which was all about tire management. You don't really need to do that here, so it doesn't really look that great for Hamlin overall.
There we go. And Reddick starting 17th, so this is one of the first of a little more place differential upside style play. Reddick's been just good in general. He's kind of like going up the rankings of being a stud at this point in the 1.5 mile tracks. Starting 17th, 21% ownership, a little bit of play stiff upside. I think an unsexy play, in my opinion, but what do you think?
I kind of like Reddick here. He's one of the he's been one of the absolute best at intermediate tracks in the next gen packages. Have a win here. Starting back in 17th. It's been a little bit quiet this season finish wise, but it's still I think he still has some upside here. He showed some long run speed in practice. I really don't mind him.
How's his pit crew? 23XI.
It's all right. It's pretty good. Not as good as Bubba's, but it's up there.
It's just died for you? Okay. The reason I said unsexy is because, I don't know, how do you take Reddick over Blaney? Blaney's just a better play. Of course he can crash and he's got higher ownership, so there's that. But Blaney's got to be, starting 24th. Good track history here. When he isn't crashing out, he's got a 4th place, a 6th place. Looks like in that 2022 race, he came in 4th, crashed out the last 2. Blaney's been crashing out everything this year. So,
yep, he's been riding right on the edge. He's been fast as fuck when he's not crashing out. So he's pushing it harder than anybody. You probably still have to go Blaney over Reddick just because, there's speed there. And that's very important. He's just been the fastest car. And you got to hope that the crash outs in the track history and recent form keep his ownership a bit down. But if people are playing smart, it's not going to.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he's playing smart or whatever. How's his pit crew?
His pit crew has been all right. It's right there with like Reddick's as like, B tier, like pretty good.
Not necessarily the group that's going to, we're not going to see Blaney like -7 spots on a pit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not as good as like the JGR guys overall.
All right, that's unfortunate. But there's a lot of ownership there. So I don't know. I guess you got to take your stands here, right? Are you fading ownership? You want to play the ownership on a sort of wide open track? Decisions, Taco. Decisions. Let's go. Christopher Bell starting 16th. Again, nondescript start. Oh, nondescript, I'm going to call it. Starting spot. Win odds exactly the same as Blaney. Exact. I mean, almost like, did you miscopy these? How the fuck are these exactly the same?
No.
That's real? How? What?
Wait, what are you saying?
When you look at Bell and Blaney, the numbers are identical.
Yeah, they have the same odds.
That's wild.
It's just DK Sportsbook's going, and they probably got a head-to-head against each other where they're both minus 115 or something.
Yeah, I mean, like super identical here. I wish I could bet unders on these tracks. But
yeah, I'm taking Blaney in that matchup, though. Bell didn't show much speed in practice. He's got the better pit crew, I guess. But, he's had some top 5 upside here, but he hasn't really led much, done a whole lot.
Yeah, been okay here, though. Been pretty decent here. So again, more of an ownership play there. Joey Logano, who you specifically mentioned as not having a very good pit crew.
Yeah, it's been struggling. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention for Blaney was that we had a all-star race here. It was a bit of a disaster, but it's not going to show on the track history. But Blaney dominated the absolute shit out of that. Like, he is extremely good at this track.
Blaney's the man. No one's denying that.
But yeah, Logano, he's just starting way back.
Starting 20, lots of play stiff.
He used to be pretty goddamn good at this track. This year you can see he's just been like very mid at the intermediate tracks. Not very fast in practice from what we could see. Better long run speed. Just the odds, you start to see him dip just a little bit here compared to the top 6 guys that are the clear favorite 6. But yeah, I mean, just a cash game sort of play,
I think it's, it feels like more of a GPP pivot, but that ownership is pretty high. So maybe it's not, maybe it is super chalk. There's so many other play stiff guys that you could get for cheaper. It's really interesting how this one is kind of coming together. I think Logano, probably very playable, got a couple of good finishes at this track, got a 2nd place in 2022, 11th place. Not bad, nothing special. Win odds, let's take a look at, the win odds are a massive step down from Blaney and Bell. So that's interesting. And from Chase Elliott, who's cheaper, which is going to make Chase Elliott the better play on paper. But what about Chase Briscoe priced up now? Is this it? He's with JGR now. He's going to be priced in the stud zone with these other guys on all tracks. Is that what's going on with Briscoe?
Oh yeah. We've seen it since the first slate of the year. Deserved, I guess. He's with JGR, so he's got a pretty good crew there, but he was really good here in Stewart-Haas equipment. 3 top 10 finishes in the 3 next-gen races we've had here.
Weirdly good here.
Yeah.
But in those tracks, in those races, he was like a 7K driver. Now we're paying top dollar. The play stiff is there. He's got to be in your mix. 21% owned. I get it.
I think he gets overshadowed a lot by like Logano and Elliott and Busch and guys starting just a little bit further back in this range. So he makes for an interesting pivot. We saw some upside there at Homestead, but not really sure what to make of him here. But at a more random kind of place, I definitely like attacking the ownership here.
Listen, if you look at this track and you only look at numbers without knowing who the drivers are, and you look at the histories and all of this, Chase Elliott is probably the best play on the board. Here's my reasoning. Just looking at the numbers, significantly better win odds and just overall finish odds than the drivers in the same price range. Significantly better. Coming off of a win, regardless of how he got it, he did win here. So, and starting 29th. So the play stiff upside is massive, more massive than these other drivers. So the only negative to Chase Elliott in the metrics is the high ownership. He'll be effectively the 2nd highest owned driver on the field, according to this. Makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah. So I would like Elliott if it weren't for the fact that he's going to be so goddamn chalky, because this is a high carnage race. And I think Elliott last year had the best DNF percentages. Like, he finished the most races. He was right up there with Halen.
How's the
I think
picture?
it's okay. Just middle of the pack. Nothing crazy. Or no. Elliott, sorry, my bad. Yeah, Elliott's one of the better.
Yeah,
he's one of the better pit crews. My bad.
Yeah, there we
Look at
go.
the wrong
You're
chase.
throwing me off here.
No,
So-
he's good. Yeah, he's had a good pit crew so far this season, and he's good finishes. So it's like a good play, but it's like good chalk, you know. But starting back in 29th, I don't expect him to win again, certainly, but
You don't need a win here. All you need is a good finish, and you're good to go from 29th.
His win was proof that kind of anyone can win here, because he has not been winning races. That was like a streak breaker for him. So yeah, this is just one of those tracks where if you're really desperate for a win, you can kind of get one here.
Speaking of desperate guys for a win,
Oof.
Kyle Busch, pretty much like, you know, win odds are lower a little bit, but I mean, the situation's kind of the same. Starting 26, 23% ownership here, 8,800. So starting to get into a more middling salary range. You've got a track history that looks all over the place. Top 10 finishes when he's not crashing, but he's crashing half the time.
Well, I don't think he has that top 10 upside really as much anymore. Like, yeah, he did finish top 10 here last year, but RCR has not shown much speed at all at intermediate tracks. You can see it in practice times with him and Dylan. It's I mean, yeah, this was one of the better tracks for them last season, but I've just been avoiding them in this package, and it's been working out just fine because I just don't think he has race winning upside at all, and we're paying almost $9,000 for him.
Yeah, I do think he has top 10 ability. The issue is I'm not convinced that like a 10th placer from this spot is enough to matter. Oh, Jeremy's saying he's got the best
oh, well, scheme. Then fuck, man.
That does make a difference. That does make the. By the way, thank you for that comment, Jeremy. And a reminder, everybody, you know, if you're enjoying these breakdowns with Taco, myself, the occasional Brady appearance, let us know by smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the DFS Army YouTube or Twitter or wherever you're watching this video. And of course, just let us know you're out there. Let us know who your favorite plays are. And secondarily, I'm also letting everybody know that the daily draft show for Best Ball Draft continues next week. We did our first one last week on Wednesday. We'll be just drafting best ball teams most days at noon right here on the DFS YouTube channel. I'm just going to draft a team. I'll have special guests on. We'll talk some rankings, all while drafting best ball teams. It's kind of a fun concept to get back in the flow of fantasy football. Those of you guys who are, well, some of you guys are in some of these DFS Army dynasty leagues that we're all in. We're all drafting our rookie drafts right now. We're having a great time with it. So make sure you're subscribed to the DFS Army YouTube channel. You want to be checking out those videos. Do a little best ball with the geek. It's fun. It's fun. It's free. What more can you ask for, Taco?
The first pick, so I can get Genty.
I got him. He's mine in both of the.
Motherfucker.
I already got it. I purposely tanked in the one of the best ball leagues that we're in, or in the DFS Army. I purposely tanked year one so I can get all these high picks. So we'll see how that. I'm on the clock. There we go. So I won't be making that pick.
You're on the clock, bro.
I won't be making that pick until after this breakdown. All right, Bubba. I loves me some Bubba here. Guy has been pretty good at this track. Win odds, okay, whatever. But he's starting 9th. The reason I like it is because you're telling me Bubba got the crew, the pit crew.
Yeah, he starting sure does.
9th, nondescript, low owned.
He just dominated here too. Like, he's priced up for sure this week, but I fucks with Bubba. Yeah. The years before, he kind of was like capped outside of that top 5 range. We saw at Homestead, like, he can run up front. He's been running up front this season. I don't mind it at all.
7th and 3rd place the last 2 seasons in this track as well. He's finished well. Now, a 7th placer, that's not going to get it done. But think of one of those many crash cautions, right? Bubba's pit crew steps up, half a second savings. He goes from 6th place to 1st place. And then he just hodls that spot for 70 laps. All right. A little preview of the track, of the race. All the monies with Bubba, just like that. So starting 9th, nondescript starting spot. Almost makes him more interesting, Taco, because that keeps going. If this guy was starting, 21st, we're talking about 38, 40% ownership. It's really different.
Yeah. And starting up high isn't necessarily bad here, even though you don't get the place differential. It kind of puts him in position to eventually find the lead.
Gives you a chance at getting that lead at some point.
Yeah.
Which is what you'll need. He will need to lead laps from this spot in order to get there, but that's kind of what that gamble would be. Bowman starting 11th. I don't know about this one, Taco.
Usually a very, very safe driver here. He has been crashing out constantly at this track. Don't mind the practice times, but I think you can cast aside a lot of that track history and just chalk it up to Texas being Texas. But he's got some Hendrick speed for cheap. Not bad. He's kind of right there with Bubba for me. He's had a little more upside this season than we've seen of him at intermediate tracks. Pretty cheap price. He's fine.
Talk about a cheap price, but some place diff upside here. You've got Chastain. I don't love the Bubba play, the Bowman play, but I think like that's the kind of play where you don't want to play it, but then certain things go a certain way and that wins you a tournament. For me, that's like super GPP only. But Chastain, man, starting 31st, one of the highest owned on the slate. Oh,
that's a tough one because I think you can look for a reason to fade him. Maybe like, oh, his practice times are fucking dookie. There you go. Yeah, you got to, and just hope he wrecks. This is a big wreckers track. Not as much checkers, but definitely some wreckers.
Bubba, Crash Dane is going to be trying to use that second.
Yeah, I don't mind the fade here. He projects out well. He's obviously got a lot of upside. He doesn't even need to win at 82. That's such a cheap price for a driver that, just 2 races ago, we saw finish second here. Has 2 top 10 finishes at intermediate tracks this season. Going to be very, very, very popular. This is where, him, Larson, even Blaney, Elliott to an extent, I probably just want to be underweight on these guys because this is such a clown show. I'm probably like someone as aggressive as Chastain, probably going to be looking a different direction here.
I mean, I can't fade, full fade, something like that, but maybe
not full fade. That is
but maybe like
definitely under.
Yeah, if he's 37%, there is, if you wanted to play him 25% and hope for the crash.
Yeah, and then imagine Ty Gibbs goes all season, wrecking every goddamn race, but then survives Texas of all places. That would be funny.
I mean, he luckily with Ty Gibbs, he doesn't need to just survive. He needs to literally win it to be relevant here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to get there with him. Gibbs is starting 6th. He'd have to lead laps and win. It could happen.
Yeah, he's fast. He's got a JJR crew. Like it's definitely possible. It's just, it's Ty Gibbs. I mean, it's kind of the same play as every week. It's like, no one's going to play him. Is this a week he breaks through? Maybe. Yeah, he got top 10 at Darlington. I don't know.
We're in a whole mid zone here, and it's all going to be distracted by Keselowski in a minute. But like Chris Buescher, I'm maintaining memory of what you talked about earlier. Chris Buescher, one of the absolute best crews. Has been good in this package this season. He's from Texas, but sort of like Kyle Busch in Las Vegas, one of those guys that for some reason just randomly sucks at his home track. His best finish ever here, 14th. But I get it, Taco. People start calling you.
Yeah.
Friends. Oh, you're coming back. Let's go out. It's a little pressure the night before to hang out with your boys. Go to the honky tonk.
Hell yeah.
Put on a cowboy hat and some boots. Do a little honky tonking.
Yeah, just
honky tonking last night, just like out at the bar.
Just kind of surprised that he's, not been so great. Like his, I I guess the under on his 13.5 on pick 6 is the way to go because he's literally never finished better than that. But I don't know. He looks pretty good to me because that long run speed looks real. And he was good at Darlington and Homestead.
This is how you win the tournament. I say this every week. You got to take risks on stuff like this. There is a data point that says not bad. He's actually kind of good at these type of tracks generally, although terrible at this one. But really the data point is he's got the best pit crew. And you've told me that the best way to pass, there's going to be a million opportunities effectively for your pit crew to help you move up spots.
Yeah, and having long run speed is usually pretty good, pretty indicative of there's going to be some speed here, but you kind of need green flag runs for it to work. So if you're like hand building some lineups and you're kind of coming up with stories for these lineups, he's definitely want to put on your green flag scenario type lineups, which I can't imagine you're making a whole lot of those this week. Because 11.5 caution prop is crazy.
I like them on the cautions too, because every time they hit, this guy's moving up 4 spots.
That is true.
I prefer the high caution version.
I just wish I just wish I saw more of the short run speed there in practice, but it couldn't be a bad sign.
The only negative is this guy's been out the last couple of nights.
Oh yeah,
with his boys.
With the boys,
the high school friends call you up like, "Oh, you think you're Mr. Big Shot now, driving a race car?" You know how it is. Yeah. They don't care. Busher versus Bubba. If you can only take one, it's Bubba for me, man.
Yeah, it's got to be Bubba. Bubba's actually done something here.
Yeah, Bubba kind of owns this track.
Because he also, I mean, Busher and Bubba have the number 1 and number 2 pit crew. So I mean,
yeah, well, there we go. I'll take both the pit crew. But we're about to get to a guy. We're not there yet. That is the only driver that's like absolutely made this track his bitch, top to bottom, forever. So far. A whole career worth of owning this. I don't want to spoil it, Taco. It's coming up.
Yeah. I wonder what you could be talking about here.
I don't want to spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Hey, let's talk about someone who made everyone their bitch and proved once and for all that anyone can win the next gen series. That's Josh Berry taking home the dub at Las Vegas.
Josh Berry's good, man. I think this guy's actually good. He's starting 6th. You know, the win odds, okay, whatever. 36-1, not the best. He's with this, relevant to the other guys in the salary range.
Yeah.
10% owned, unowned, rightfully unowned, but unowned.
He kind of got some big ownership after Las Vegas, and that hype has definitely settled down quite a bit. I kind of wish I saw a little bit more in practice to go off of outside of just one hot lap. But yeah, anyone he's starting up front. Anyone that just finds himself up in that position up front, they could lead it, and you don't necessarily have to have the fastest car here. So, granted, his track history here is just like one really quick crash, and that's it. But he was like fine here in Xfinity. But yeah, this is the kind of play you make just because it's Texas, Yeah,
this is classic GPP only. I need a sub 10% owned obscure driver in my lineup that's cheap, and why not him? That's the argument I guess you could make. And Berry sometimes is weirdly good. How's his pit crew?
It's I think they're like middle to bottom ish. They're not that great. Yeah.
All right.
They're all right.
This driver has owned this track. This driver coming off a 2nd place, but has been top 10 all of the last 6 races, and that precedes the next gen. He's been top 10 in all 3 of the next gen races here as well. He's also the most chalky driver on this entire slate. He's starting super far back. That's Keselowski, starting 30th.
What's with the price? He's also the last guy before the odds cliff.
Look at the odds cliff. Talk about that. We got D-Swizz hanging around to give us a little reprieve, but it goes from heavy green to yellow, and these yellows are like starting first. So heavy green, the drop massive, 41% ownership, Taco.
Well, I will update the odds after they weren't completely out this morning, so I didn't do it. But I think we have top 5 and top 10, everything out now. I think Hocevar will definitely join the top part of this odds cliff here. But yeah, Keselowski just finds ways to get it done. He's been pretty dog shit this year. So I don't know.
And by the way,
I don't know,
Keselowski has
man.
been burning us for weeks in a row.
Yeah. So that it creates a real question of do you fade the current hate or do you fade the track history and the ownership? I don't know. I think I'm looking at it and I got to tell myself, bro, it's Texas. This is going to be the highest owned guy at Texas.
I don't think you could full fade it, but like, I guess you could if you're doing a mini match, like if you're YOLOing it.
Yeah.
Just say, fuck it. If he wins, it's probably not going to help me anyway. Go with that.
I don't know. I wish that he was in better form. It would be
Can I share a bad beat story? It's not really a bad beat, but for the trucks race on Friday night, I open up the Draftkings app, of course, with 12 laps left to go, and I'm like, oh, I'm in first place. $8,000, nice, right? Put it down for a second, look up again. I don't know who the hell crashed, but I went from up $8,000 to losing 90% of my entry fees in about like a lap. I don't know what happened in those last 10 laps. Taco, I was not watching, but it was a disaster.
I couldn't watch it all yesterday. I was out at a family event. But yeah.
I think it was Friday. It was the truck, not Xfinity.
Oh, the trucks, yeah.
Yeah. What happened late in that? Did a truck driver just... Yeah. I don't know what happened there. It was horrible.
It was Allgaier for me, man. R.I.P.
I didn't have any Allgaier.
Yeah, he got taken out early.
I think you're thinking Xfinity. Is Allgaier in trucks or Xfinity?
Oh no, not Allgaier. So I was thinking of Riggs.
Yeah, what are
Riggs was mad fast early, and then I was like way over on him.
Hocevar, yeah, lose the battery. It may have been Hocevar. I had a lot of him.
Yeah, I had a lot of hosts too. Yeah. We'll get to host here in 1 second once we
But yeah, we love Keselowski. Keselowski owns this track, but he's also going to be super chalk. So I don't know. Proceed with caution there. Like, do you want to play the chalkiest guy in the best spot? That's probably what Keselowski is for the best price. It's 7,600. It's going to be tough to beat that. But Keselowski has burned us a little bit this season, just in general. If you look at his last finishes on these 1.5 mile tracks, like this year's finishes, it's been bad. It's been like, oh, I didn't make any money because I played him bad, right?
Yeah.
So
it was a tale of two halves last season. And then
I don't know what to do with that, but anytime a guy's going to be the highest owned on any kind of slate and anything of DFS that exists,
but especially at a dog shit track like Texas,
there's an argument.
Kind of makes it easier for me to make that decision. I feel like at most places, if everything looked the same, I would probably just roll with Kez.
How dare you?
Whoa, hey, yo.
Don't know where that came from. That's Keselowski, guys. Make a decision. Best spot, best driver in terms of price, history, all those things, and win odds, but also the chalkiest, and also the guy who's been fucking everybody all season long with mid finishes. So can't make that decision for anybody. You got to make those calls on your own. Carson Hocevar starting on the pole, Taco. We've seen at this track that the pole sitter has done fairly well in the past, but we only have 3 races to go by. Hocevar has been quite good this year, just generally, even if he does tend to crash out at the end of these races. He's looked really good until that's happened. 41% ownership projection. Starting on the pole, what do you say?
I mean, if you just look at his 1.5 mile finishes this year, you go, oh my God, he fucking sucks. He's worse than Cody Ware. But no, he has been good. Very aggressive, though. Kind of a crash magnet. Hasn't been the case so far for him at this track. And he was the fastest car in practice as well. So this really all comes down to, is stage 1 green or no? if it's green, the Hocevar is a really good play, assuming he can somehow finish the race.
Let me ask
As
you
long as
this.
he finishes the race, he's chilling.
How's his
But
pit crew?
it's
Terrible.
bad.
Yeah, dude, fuck this.
Yeah.
Fuck. What's the ownership? 21%. Oh man, wait,
It's gonna be low. Yeah,
It is low. It is low.
People are scared of the hosts. He's right next to Keselowski in pricing too. I think if it weren't for Larson and Byron starting right by him, he would be a little higher ownership. But Byron's kind of the way to go up top. I don't think we even really talked much about Byron. Byron's like for me the clear favorite to dominate this race.
Well, we did. We said he's starting second. I said,
yeah.
I think the expectation is going to be he beats Host at some point in the first few laps and is the actual leader.
I don't even know if Byron does that because it's so good to have clean air here. It's just like, one or two cautions in, Host is gone. But if he does lead stage one, somehow they just keep it green, then at 74, he's kind of a no-nonsense, super cheap play. It allows you to do a whole bunch, but probably not going to be good. This guy is a glass floor. He could score like -40 very easily. Like on Fanduel, I would be absolutely frightened to play Hocevar.
I'd unfriend you.
I wouldn't unfriend him. Because if he goes green, stage one, unlikely, but if it does, I mean, that's
even if it doesn't, even if he does go green. Let's say I follow
I'd
Dara.
unfriend you.
Listen to Doris. Unfriend. Then it does go green.
He leads 70 laps, 80 laps.
Well, it's not a 70, 80 laps. Is that how long the first stage is?
It's 80, 85, and then like 110.
Oh, if he leads 70 laps, I don't care. Almost no matter what happens next year, he's the nut. But if he doesn't lead the whole thing, he leads 30, 40 laps and then starts to just melt backwards. I don't think it's going to burn you.
It's just the odds of it going green for a whole stage. Texas at the track we just had 16 fucking cautions at. Yeah, it's pretty low.
You want to bet on that? How about when it's looking like he's in the lead? You're like, shit, I wish I didn't unfriend him. Right, the first 10 minutes you're watching, and then the first wreck happens, or the first caution happens, the first pit happens. He's moving back because his pit crew is less good than the other ones, and then he's never heard from again. Where's Host? He's in 7th now. Oh. Now he's irrelevant. Where's he now? 12th. Done. Happy you faded him. 20%. I think it's fade a bull. But you got to have some balls. Austin Cindric. Starting 3rd. Super low owned. Any reason to even think about playing this guy?
Yeah. Track position. It's a great reason to consider playing him. He's better this year. He's got Penske speed. This is a Penske track, like he's never done anything here in the past, sure, but he's playable for sure. Like he's as playable as like a Josh Berry would be, even more so.
GPP upside, low owned, nondescript.
I mean, he was the fastest car at Las Vegas.
Interesting.
7-2.
Not super excited about it, but yeah, tournament play right there with Cindric. And he's in the right manufacturer, so do with that what you will. I don't, anything about his pit crew? Are they anything special, mid, whatever?
Yeah,
nothing.
Very, not that great. Yeah.
All right, now we get to one of my all-time favorite drivers. You guys know this, Killer Priest. Killer Priest.
Now his pit crew instead of it's pretty
How's
good.
His pit crew?
A tier.
A tier. A.
Not the very top, not the top 10, I'd say.
You know what's
RFK pretty good across the board, pit crew wise.
Good driver. Starting 33rd.
2 top 10s on the season already in this package. Don't mind it. Yeah.
Having his best season ever.
His best equipment ever.
Yeah. Has the same win odds as even Hocevar, who's starting on the pole. At least
that'll change.
Yeah, I'm sure that's changed. But similar, really good win odds for the price point. starting 33rd, high ownership, but makes everything affordable. Killipriest, going to be one of the better plays on the slate, but there's more. But definitely going to be one of the better plays on this entire slate based on that starting position. He does not need to do that much from 33rd at this price. I mean, Taco, this is where we're in the territory here where, you know, a 10th place finish, more than enough.
Yeah, this is just cheaper Keselowski in the same equipment.
Yeah. 10th place, more than enough. Now, talk about, we talked about drivers with really good pit crews, and Daniel Suarez, D-Swiss, I kind of think this is like the same as the Priest play.
This is a good pivot, lower owned. It starts a little bit higher. Look at the track history. It's
Owns
solid
this
as
track.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. D-Swiss, you know, when I've said it before, it's been bad luck.
Yeah, he's got a S tier pit crew. Certainly.
This is one of the better plays on this slate.
Wow.
Yep. I was thinking that.
He's got the elite pit crew, which is very important here. That's the only way you're moving up most of the time. He's got elite track history. I mean, super elite. 5th, 8th, 12th, and 10th. Every single one of those finishes, and then a couple of third placers before this generation.
Well, that was a JJR equipment.
Yeah, no,
but even looking at just Trackhouse stuff, very, very good. Yes,
really good.
Runner up at Las Vegas, was fast, legitimately.
Weirdly good here. Weirdly good. Good this year. This is a really good play.
6,900 is really cheap.
Price is right.
Mm-hmm.
And all that play stiff upside starting at 25th. Will he crash? Probably. But if he doesn't, you know,
then,
this is going to be one of the better plays. Yeah, this is going to be one of the better plays. There's no getting around it. I don't see, you know, it's just one of the better plays.
Now we go to another odds cliff, but it's an odds cliff where everyone is really fast in practice.
Yeah, big difference between Suarez at you know 51-1 and then the rest of them, the no chance crew. Like they're still giving him a little shot, you know, at a decent finish here. The rest of these guys really not getting that. But we'll hammer through the final group here. Low owned turd sandwich.
This whole bottom part of the salary, like anything under 7K in this slate, kind of makes me want to. It kind of makes me want to fade Larson. This is part of the reason I'm going underweight on Larson here. There aren't many plays I'm super excited about down here. Like when the best projecting punt play of the whole slate is Stenhouse, that's worrisome.
But he looks pretty good.
Yeah. The one I do like, even though he's starting up in 10th, is AJ Allmendinger, who is the fastest car in practice and has been an elite top 10 car at his last 4 intermediate track starts. Like that team is fast.
Can he lead laps?
He could run top 5. I don't know about leading laps now, but if there was anyone this range that could lead laps, it would be him. I'm not playing Michael McDowell starting 5th.
I mean, yeah, he's starting 10. He's 10. Yeah. He needs to. Dinger will need to prove out this practice time in real life and actually finish, top 3.
He just needs to do what he did at Homestead, do what he did at Las Vegas.
Yeah. I don't want to go crazy with it. Gragson starting 18th. I don't know what to do with that one. Eric Jones, unowned, starting 14th, super unsexy. I don't like that one. Dinger, again, tournament only. He has some upside, but man, I don't love it either. Dylan, starting 19th, a little better?
Nah, RCR, not fast in this package. I don't see any speed there.
No boy.
Him or Kyle Busch.
How's the pit crew for Dinger and maybe like how's Dinger's pit crew? Maybe that's a reason. I don't know.
Meh, not that great.
All right, so let's talk about the most relevant guy in this group. Although there's 2.
Oh, we're talking about Ty Dillon already. All right, cool.
Wait, no.
What? Oh,
wait, how do we get spoiled? What's he?
Spoiler.
Oh yeah, well, we'll get to him. We'll get to him. Ty Dillon is the automatic cash game punt, but Stenhouse, bit of a crasher historically.
A bit.
Starting 34th, has a 9th place finish here. The rest of them are all wrecks.
Yep, it's kind of what he does.
Not that good.
For a best play in this range, this is really bad. That's kind of why I'm trying to avoid the really expensive guys and just focus more on the Priest, Suarez, even like Keselowski range. Or
You played 3 of these guys. You can now kind of put in the stud.
You're kind of forced to do something in this range. Really, the more I think about it, the more I just want to kind of go all the way to the bottom and say fuck all this shit, because putting all my trust in Stenhouse, that sounds scary as fuck.
Ty Dillon's starting too high up, Taco. You can't do that.
Shut up.
He's starting too high. The
No,
Ty
shut
Dillon
up. Shut up.
code is not going to work today.
No.
It's not going to work.
No. Look, hear me out. Look at bro track history. All right, he's legit.
It's not terrible.
Look at his teammate speed.
I mean, I guess, how come his speed is so much worse than his teammate?
Bro, don't worry. It's like this every week. All right, and what happens? Ty Dillon always rules.
He really does.
That's been the season so far.
Yeah, but you need him starting 35th, man.
No, I just need him priced 5,100 and we're chilling.
All right, maybe that is what it is. Maybe there's a math version of this.
For me, I've just been looking at Ty Dillon and SVG and going, you know what? Can make this work.
I guess. All right. Well, maybe we'll see. I don't know about that, but actually,
there are so many unfriends, man. This is the Doris zone.
High carnage.
Doris zone.
You talk about like how can you get Shane Van Gisbergen in there? It's going to take a lot of carnage.
I mean, what does this track offer? A lot of carnage.
It does provide it. So the only other name here, there's a couple other names I think I like drivers that are somewhat good. Zane Smith is kind of good, but starting 13th, he's
been solid,
upside here.
Yeah. And then Todd Gilliland starts in a good spot, but he has like the worst pit crew in the whole field. So I don't know about him. Yeah. And also his track history might be the worst of anyone in this field. So a lot of things going against him there.
He's a professional crasher at this. Like Gilliland will be one of the first names we hear. And you'll be like, oh, I didn't play any of him. Fine.
Then like Jesse Love started in the back, but he has been absolutely brutal, like awful in the Cup Series in every start.
Haley starting too far forward to be relevant.
Yeah.
Nemechek at 28th.
Not good in this package.
Nah.
Not good in this package, unfortunately.
Cold Cust
practice time's okay, but yeah, Cold Cust turd. Yeah.
Cold Cust turd.
Riley Turst.
Yeah. Nope.
It's just the Doris zone,
Oh man, Doris is like, get me in there, coach.
I'll let Doris. Doris could sub in for Chad Fincham. That is the worst card.
I unfriend you.
So it makes me just look at Ty Dillon and SVG and go, comparatively, not bad.
I don't know. The 23rd place start, I can't do it for Ty. I love Ty Dillon.
But 23rd to 16, not bad for 51. Like,
I don't think it gets you there. I think if he goes 23rd to 16, you don't win.
No, 23rd to 20th. I think he's solid at 51. Like, who's outscoring him? Jesse
what is that?
Love?
What does that
Cody
get you?
Ware?
27?
Like,
You're talking about like a 27-point score in the nuts?
Yeah. Because, I mean, just looking at this whole range, I don't see a lot of people with that crazy of upside.
You know how that approach gets burned? If multiple of the Priest, Suarez, Keselowski group, if they all like kind of deliver, you won't have needed this pay down.
Chalk delivering at Texas, though? That's the thing. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why they play the game. That's why they drive the race to find out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, these guys stink. Let's be real. These guys are terrible.
Yeah, normal slate, I would not be big on these guys all the way at the bottom here. It's just this slate's fucky at the bottom. There just aren't very many good plays. Oftentimes we'll have like a 6,000 Eric Jones starting 35th. That's like more than enough. Or Gilliland at a track he's actually good at. But yeah, it's time for a winner pick. So we can get out of here and
Who do you
hurry
like?
up to from the worst track in NASCAR to the best track in NASCAR. I am so much more excited about next week than this week. This week
What's
sucks.
next week?
Kansas, baby. Best track in NASCAR. But here, we got to sit to the worst track in NASCAR. And for my winner, I'm going to go Mr. Bubba Wallace. I'm going to give it to him. I think he
Ain't
finally
no
breaks
burger.
through an intermediate.
Little Bubba for
Bubba.
the win. FTW.
Sure. And he's not going to have the fastest car. He's just kind of be there.
I like Willie Byron to take this one down.
Mm-hmm. I like him to
Dominate, huddle onto it, falls back a little bit. You're like, oh no, what's happening? And then pit crew, awesome, back to the front.
Yep.
For the win.
That's how I think Bowman does it, you know? Or not Bowman, Bubba. Sorry, Bowman.
Bubba could get there. Bubba's a great part of a well-balanced lineup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at 8,600, you can get Bubba in there with the 3 play stiff guys, no problem, and roll a couple of studs in along with it. Even like a Byron or Larson, you know, one of those guys in there, no problem. You could fit the whole thing. Get Chase Elliott going. What's up, Chase?
Yeah.
I like it.
Chase the 2-time? That'd be fun.
How about, wait, I don't have Draftkings open, but I don't know if this lineup would work. You know, let me crack open Draftkings here, but, you know, here, let me crack that.
Wait, I know a way you could do this. Just hold control, click on all their salaries, and then look at the sum on the bottom right.
Do I look like a math, you know, Excel genius or whatever the hell it is that you're talking about?
That's how I do it.
Yeah, no.
It's easy.
I'm not you. That's
if
why.
It's under 50K, you're chilling.
Hang on. This is what I need to do. Okay. We're going to, by the way, you see how this balance is growing on my DraftKings account all the time? That's from
Arbing.
Yeah, it's from Arbing using the Arb tool at Sharp. It's crazy.
I made $1,000 last month.
You made $1,000 last month doing
1,000.
Yes. That's ridiculous. And you're only doing pregame, not even live.
No, I was living last night. And I got some 2-ways, you know, where that's the under 10.5 versus the over 9.5, and they get 10. You get both. Oh, it's so sick.
I had a minus 22.5 or something where like the line moved. It was like plus 190, and my other side of the arb was minus 105. So like in the fourth quarter of that basketball game last night, I needed the Clippers or I needed to be more than 22. It ended up being 21. So I almost scored a massive accidental arb win.
Oh man.
Yesterday. But yeah, I was up 3,500 last month arbing.
Gee. I know you bet way more than I do on this.
No, it's just like
I'll get my capital up there.
Yeah, I'm able to do it. So it's just so easy. It's crazy. Anytime there's a live basketball game on, I'm just like, all right, let me watch the game and arb away.
Bro, the best thing that happened to me was I did an under on like Lillard points on Novig and over on Fnatic, and he got hurt. Fnatic was like, "That's okay. We'll give you your money back."
Yeah, you told me about that.
He died. Cool. You win the under.
The other thing that's been working is like, you know, some of these sites have like, a 33% profit boost for every NBA game. So you just hit the one side, hit the other side on the other one. It's just been awesome. I'm just padding this thing up, prepping for NFL, you know, so I can hammer away at NASCAR and MMA all throughout the offseason. Get ready for some NFL action coming up. Love it. So check out this lineup. I just wanted to put this together because you include this is what I was saying. Wallace, Keselowski, Suarez, Priest, your crew here. Then we throw in a little Chase. You know, ain't nothing changed but my limp. And I can now put whatever final.
Byron. Oh my God, beautiful. All right, go ahead, steal it. I don't care.
Honestly, this is probably my favorite chalk lineup of this.
Go tie, bro.
Is this tie, bro? Should I not have done this on the air?
Go tie Geek and the Engineer. Let's all do it together.
Oh no, get out of there.
Gotta run a massive podcast train.
Get out of there. Don't join me. Don't join me on that, people. All right. That's going to do it, guys. Remember, all week long, the daily draft. You're hanging with the Geek. We're doing rankings, fantasy football. Get the brain back. We're going to draft best ball teams. How else am I going to do it? I'm going to do it in front of the camera. You'll see me drafting all my balls. I'm going to try to get 150 of them in this year.
Hell yeah.
We're going to talk rankings. I got the rookies down pat. I know who the sleepers are. getting it all together, Taco. Every day at noon, right here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. And of course, if you want
noon,
access, Taco, you're in there. I got the crew. We're going to be bringing on guests regularly to that show to talk about rankings, sleepers, all the good stuff. DFS Army coaches, outside coaches. Already had Keselowski on there, not to be confused with Keselowski. It's a different Lowski. Already on the show. Got some rookie rankings there.
It sounds like some premier content. If you got one of those boring jobs, you can just watch videos while doing it. Oh my God.
That's what you should be watching at work.
Absolutely.
I'll do it, and if you guys are watching at work, I'll stretch it 2 hours. We'll do a double draft. What else am I doing? I got to draft these teams anyway. I want to have best ball teams in the finals this year. I'm sick of it. I've never gotten in the past, Taco. My issue is like I said, I just ADD away from it. So I never get more than 15 teams drafted. So I decided
to engage this year.
I'm doing it this year. Spicy's going to be there with us for those drafts.
Spicy's out in the living room waiting on me to go eat, I'm sure. So shout out her.
What's up? So make sure to check that out. Most weekdays at noon, we're going to be right here on the DFS Army YouTube channel, of course. And if you guys want access to the tools, the domination station, what's been causing all the wins, guys are winning. We've had an epic run. We have an epic run going on here because the MLB product is so freaking good this year. The projections leveled up. The dom station's on point. We're seeing guys taking down NBA tournaments on the regular. So, and of course, NASCAR has been absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Baseball heaters too.
Is it always
been seeing them?
What's that?
They've been popping off on baseball and tennis recently.
Yeah, just random.
Going hard
baseball.
everywhere.
We had a down year last year. It has leveled back up, which I'm excited to see. We adjustments to the projection model, massive adjustments in the offseason have paid off. And of course, you guys know there is no more accurate NFL projection system in existence than what we had last year and we'll have again this year here at DFS Army. So we're here. Promo code TACO. You need those referrals, Taco.
Hell yeah. Thank you for those.
10% off with code TACO. Gets you at 10% off everything we do here at DFS Army. That's where you want to be.
Yes, sir.
I say just do the yearly NFL. If you're in the NFL, well, no, because you're watching NASCAR. You got to do it all. VIP.
Yeah.
You know
VIP,
how
baby.
Yeah. Some people only do NASCAR and NFL. Got to do, 2 separate subs. Or just do VIP and get everything. All right. That's going to do it for this one, guys. No commercials on this one. Not monetized. So that's why I speak the commercial. You get it. It's how we make our money. Not monetized, but enjoy the race today. Expect the carnage. Embrace the carnage. Root for Bubba. That sound about right?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's rock. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you next time.